Hi everyone, Father Anthony Hannon here, and this is to prepare his way. So I don't have any viewers on quite yet for the live stream, but I thought I'd introduce myself anyway because YouTube automatically saves the live streams after they're finished, and even during the live stream you can go back to the beginning and watch it. You can. I don't know if while it's live you can play it. Yeah, I think you can. You can play it at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed or whatever. So if on any of my live streams you come in late, you can go to the beginning and mark your settings at a faster speed, and you will eventually catch up. Often I'm talking slow enough that I think you could have it at double the speed and you're still going to be able to understand what I'm saying. But let me see, what's my hat doing here? Okay, good. Yeah, got my black. I'm going to call it my priest hat that I bought. I think I bought it in Maine. I'm sure I bought it in Maine. It was either in Calais, Maine, or yeah, I'm sure it did. Anyway, very good. Hats, it doesn't really matter. The title of this live stream is Unfinished Business in Kingston. And yesterday on the live streams, I was on a city bus, in a small city, and that's the Kingston, and I was explaining why I was here in Kingston, and what I was doing, and basically, I had some issues with the truck, and I thought that I better get that looked after before it gets really bad. I thought it was a universal joint problem, and that can be very, very serious. There was some vibration just as I was coming to a stop every time I was stopping, and I could sense some hesitation on startup, and I could also, when I was driving, I sensed some vibration underneath the floorboards, and this might have been, a little bit in my mind. You say, oh, there's a problem here, and you start thinking about it, and well, maybe it's this, and maybe it's that. Anyway, so I went down I decided to go to Canadian Tire at my favorite Canadian Tire in Kingston. There's another one that I've gone to, and that's fine too. But anyway, the vehicle is 10 years old, and I've always got it serviced at a Ford dealer. Knowing that I'm paying a little bit more to the dealer and whatnot, but because my dad, that truck is a gift from my dad, about 9 months before he ended up dying. So it's and plus I can't afford to replace it anyway, so I want to keep good care of it, and I just thought, well, get it serviced by Ford. Way back in my 20s and stuff, I'd get things serviced at Canadian Tire, and I wasn't always pleased, and a lot of people aren't pleased. The fact is, a lot of people aren't pleased at the dealers either, and it's kind of life in a lot of ways. Anyway, yesterday my experience at Canadian Tire was really, really, really good. Great people, good service advisors, good staff all the way around. The mechanic, very reasonable, brought me out to the truck, showed me everything, couldn't ask for more. And I decided to get new tires. I've been thinking about it even before last winter. I was thinking I should get new tires. I'm getting the BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2s. That was the same ones that I had last. The stock tires were the Goodyear Wrangler all-terrain, and those stock tires lasted a long time, something like 115, 120,000 kilometers, something like that. And I was really impressed with the Wranglers, but at the time I did research, and that was in 2017. So 4 years. I've had the vehicle a little over 4 years at that point when I decided to switch out the tires, and you know, uh, and I did research, and I just thought the BF Goodrich were better. There's slightly softer rubber. They'd be better traction in the winter and ice and whatnot. And yeah, so the BF Goodrich, they worked really well. And I've got like 228,000 kilometers on it now. And so these BF Goodrich have worn, well, even better than the Goodyear Wranglers. And so there was no question in my mind I'm going to go for the BF Goodrich again. There's still tread wear left on the BF Goodrich, but they are 6 years old, so they're getting cracks in the rubber. The rubber dries out, so it's a good idea. But also I'm keeping the tires because they do have life in them in case I'm stuck or whatever and there's problems with these tires or whatever. And now the mechanic thought that the little shuddering there when I was stopping might be due to the tires, although he was not recommending that I buy new tires. He said, look, there's lots of life on it and you don't need to replace them. But anyway, I did anyway. And at Canadian Tire, one of the good things is, and this is not advertisement for Canadian Tire, they're not paying me for anything, to endorse them or anything. I'm just telling you the way I see it. And at Canadian Tire, they have a Canadian Tire credit card, and if you use that for any purchase, I think over $150, you can ask them to put it on a 24-month equal payment plan, which is zero interest. So zero interest for 2 years. So it's kind of a no-brainer when I go to the Ford dealership, or if I bought them anywhere else, tires or service anywhere else, I'll use a credit card, and then the next month I've got to pay it in full. So which often includes using my line of credit, which is paying interest, but maybe a third the interest rate that a credit card company would be. So anyway, those are the reasons I go to Canadian Tire. And anyway, like I say, very positive experience yesterday at Canadian Tire. It was also a great day, meeting lots of different individuals, but three of note, and two of them were Freedom people. So they had, I saw this little red pickup truck, and it had a lot of good slogans on it, and so I decided to do what I needed to do, and kind of wait around for the person. And so I went and introduced myself to this woman, and her name was Catherine, if I remember correctly. And anyway, just excellent conversation. Could have talked with her all day, but then shortly after that, it might have been like a half an hour or something later, I walk over to Burger King because it's Wednesday and I get a Whopper Wednesday and a cheap lunch, even though it's not the healthiest for me, and I have changed my diet, and I'm happy to say that I have lost over 20 pounds now and counting. I'm taking better care of myself. It's about time I take care of my body at the age of 60 years old. Not that I completely abused it or anything like that, but I did just eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and been doing intermittent fasting, and changing the percentage of junk food. We'll put it like that, and eating more salads and vegetables and that type of thing. Anyway, I'm over at Burger King, and I see someone through the drive-through, and who has two Canadian flags on their windows. So I went and actually what I did was I gave them like this, which is the salute that you would have if you, like kids would have if you see a 18-wheeler, a trucker go by. You go like this, and you hope that they pull on the cord in their cab there, and honk the horn, honk honk, right? And that was always fun growing up, and and that was part of the fun of the Truckers Convoy for the first week anyway. And so I go like that to them, and they look at me, and then I bless them, right? I bless them, and I don't know, they probably couldn't see my collar, but I am a priest, and whether they know it or not, they are getting a real blessing. And so, and whatever graces may be attached to that, and then I go and I knock on the window, and I introduce myself, and I just want to say I just want to affirm you. I asked, are you a patriot Canadian? No, are you only some of that? Are you patriot Canadian, or are you a freedom fighter or whatever? And the woman is like, she's freedom. She knows everything. We immediately hit it off. Obviously, all the various psyops that are going on. Like if people are awake, they're really awake. It's really fantastic. By the way, I'm just walking through the parking lot, and I see the sign of resistance. So we're all over the place. Now, I'm not going to wait around for this person, but I'm going to wait around for this person, but I'm happy to see them. I definitely go up and say hello to them too. And anyhow, so I meet this other woman, and then I said, I just want to affirm you're on the right side and whatever. And in both cases, I gave them my YouTube channel, and which is usually what I do so that people can go on their own time and look at the channel. And I always tell them, if you want, if you want, you can reach out to me. Just say you met at whatever. So what do you know? Later in the afternoon, I see a comment on my last video, so not the live stream, but the last video, which is where Jesus is, and it's Sue, that's the name of the woman who is driving that second car. And what did she say in that comment? That she was talking with her family, I guess shortly after, that she met this priest, and they're all, and they are Catholic in both cases. And but she says, wouldn't you know it, it's one of my grandmothers. That's who you met earlier. so life is such an adventure for me, and even if I'm just in VM Patches, and most of the time I'm there alone with my dog and with the Lord and with my guardian angels and all the angels and saints. When we are aware of the community of saints, we're never really alone. But even then, it's life is an adventure. I never know what each day is going to be. There's always surprises, and I don't know, living one day at a time and believing in God. I don't know. Life is an adventure, and being a priest especially. And I get, of course, phone calls and emails and from various individuals who reach out to me. Sometimes it's words of encouragement. Sometimes I haven't heard from you in a while. They just decide to call and say hi. And sometimes, people are calling and they want to bounce things off of me. They want my spiritual counsel, some guidance and whatnot. So it's always a surprise. And then yesterday, the idea was to go to the Sound of Freedom movie, which there was a 1:40 showing in Kingston. And I knew that it was sold out, but I knew also there was a companion seat, that was available, companion for someone in a wheelchair, basically. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go in and I'm going to see if I can wait around and see if anyone shows up in a wheelchair and with a companion. And if no one does, well, why don't I ask them if I can buy a ticket and sit in that seat? Anyway, they're very, very stringent with their policy there, so I wasn't able to do that. But the good part of it, I talked to two of the employees there. I used to work at a movie theater back in 1981 to 1986, and I had a good chat with the doorman. Had a little chat with one of what we used to call the candy girls, but a young woman at the confectionery. And then I had a really good conversation with a very bright young man who is one of the assistant managers at the movie theater, and really good guy. And well, I guess the conversation was at the beginning wasn't so hot, but I mean, because it's hard, it's hard to be, working with the public like that. And then, I think he had a few different, um, you know, clients or customers, whatever you want to call it, who that day who had called him and or, talked to him and were giving him a hard time, And but even though he's just a young man, he is he's been around the block a little bit in terms of the retail or service industry, and so he has a bit of a thick skin on it. But anyway, eventually I mean, fairly early on, we had a really good conversation talking about all sorts of things. And one of the things I forgot to mention yesterday, and again, I would never, if I ever thought there would be anything of a personal nature that a person wouldn't want me to share, that obviously I wouldn't share that on my videos. I think I have discretion. And but he said that I asked if he was Catholic. He wasn't, but he went to Catholic high school. So he, as is typical, people think that they know what the Catholic Church is about because they went to Catholic school. Well, he was, not that naive. He did know that there was problems in the Catholic schools and they can't be quite right. But certainly from what he saw, there was no impetus for himself to become Catholic. And one thing I forgot to mention that he said was, I felt like it was being rammed down my throat, which, the religion, the Catholic Church or something. And of course, I explained to him that the government-run Catholic schools are not really Catholic, and most of the teachers are not practicing their faith. And then I explained how religion can be used to, to try to control or whatever. It can be misused. We'll just put it like that. So, anyway, it's just, I'm always learning. There's a couple other things there, and I spoke to him and said, well, thank you. You just taught me something. I wasn't really aware of that, but now that you say it, and this is all about how we relate to others, how we love, like as a Christian, and as a human being, how do we love others, right? That's ultimately what it is. But also, how do you bring the gospel to others? And if we only stick amongst, practicing Catholics and never venture out to meet others, either they're not Catholic, they're not Christian, maybe, or they're not believers, or they're agnostic. How are we going to know? How am I going to know how, what's on their mind and heart? What's important to them? How can we just relate as human beings? And because I think, what is it on the internet? They talk about echo chambers, right? And I think everyone is in danger of this. I think politicians are in danger of it if they only stick around other politicians or people in their political party. I think that priests and I think that bishops, we can also fall into that. I mean, when you think of our bishops, who knows who knows the struggles, the troubles of a bishop more than another bishop? So it's understandable that it automatically the College of Bishops, we will call them, that that's their support network. And that's why, in a general way, that's why you don't see too many bishops breaking rank with the rest of the assembly or whatever. And so I see there's some of the live chat going on, so I will check on that shortly to see what's going on. So this is kind of my little long introduction to the topic of this video. Plus I want to expand on what I think is an insight that kind of came to me this morning as I was driving back into Kingston. So anyway, yesterday, really positive experience on so many levels. And I get in the truck, and sure enough, the it looked like, yeah, the tires, it may have been a problem. There was a little bit of, wear on those front tires that could have been causing this shuddering as I was slowing down to a stop. And sure enough, I tested everything. Oh, it's great. Everything is great. And again, just so happy. I did whatever I needed to do here. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I haven't had like a pizzeria type pizza in ages. And again, not the best for my new diet and losing weight. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna go order some real pizzas, And so I got a couple pizzas, and bringing them home. But had a few slices before I left Kingston, and I hadn't offered mass yet. So, I'm going back home to offer mass yesterday. So I ended up not offering mass until about, I don't know, 9:30, quarter to 10 at night. But anyway, that's good. A lot of times I like having mass, late, and the reason is because it's something to look forward to in the day, and I'm always finishing the day on a high note, so to speak. Like when I was in that parish for 10 years, I'd have an 8 o'clock a.m. mass during the weekdays, and sometimes I'd say, I mean, it's as a priest, it's such a great thing in so many ways to have daily mass, and you see the faithful coming to daily mass, and we really do become closer, like more intimate with the daily mass goers. We love all the Sunday mass goers who we don't see during the week, and some of them go to daily mass, at other parishes, a downtown parish or whatever during the week. But we do obviously, you spend more time, you get to know the people you see more often. But sometimes, it's such a wonderful, mass experience. The communion that we share, the Holy Communion that we share, and so I would say at the end of mass, before the dismissal, well, this is a great way to start the day, and it's all downhill from here. It's all, because for those with faith, if you go to mass, and especially if you, receive the sacraments, that's the best. That is the best. So it's like, it's all down here for the rest of the day. So when I have mass later in the day, it's kind of like, well, it's kind of finishing on a high note. Okay. But anyway, as I was driving home last evening, it was the sun was going down. It was still light out. I was about 2/3, 3/4 of the way home, and there's certain places on that drive where the speed limit changes, or there's the odd traffic light or something, and I had to hit my brakes to slow down, and I started hearing a little clunk or click, and I could kind of feel it on the brake pedal, and I thought maybe the universal joints are a problem, because to really know the condition of the universal joints, you have to take the drive shaft off. Now, you don't really have to, because usually you don't need to replace them. You can just check without taking them off. But to really know so I thought, well, yeah, that's what's happening, and it is a universal joint, and I guess that's what I was thinking it was. And the little clunk kept getting stronger, every time I hit the brakes. And then I hit the brakes, and not only did I hear and feel this kind of clunk, but there was this scraping noise. I didn't know what at first it wasn't that strong, and I thought it was sounded like like maybe like you go into a public washroom and they've got those really powerful hair dryers or hand dryers, air dryers, and and like I kind of like is that wind? Is there some sort of vacuum thing? Like what just happened? And I took my foot off the off the brake, and then it stopped. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I don't know what's going on here. It seemed like it was at the front. At first, I thought it's the front right wheel or something, and as I'm driving, I undo the window, and as I was getting closer home, I tested it a few times, hit the brakes. I say hit the brakes. I'm not saying like hit the brakes in emergency stuff. Just as normally touching the brakes, and I'd get this, and I say, oh yeah, it's on that side. So I do up the window, unroll the driver's side, and no, I think it's on this side. I guess it's on both sides. But when I got home, with the help of a person that was up at the retreat center, I was able to determine that it was the rear right wheel, and I didn't know what it was. Like, what is this? And then eventually I thought it must be the parking brake is somehow engaging the repair. Oh yeah, so I did get like the left parking cable replaced, and the spring that was missing, and this stuff. They had that replaced yesterday at Canadian Tire. They did a great job, and for the first time in probably at least 6 years, I don't have to, when I release the parking brake, I don't have to take my foot and kind of kick up or lift up the foot pad, and so I thought, well, they did a great job in repairing that, and but then I thought, well, maybe because I hardly have to push the pedal down at all now to engage the parking brake. So I thought, well, maybe that parking brake is engaging for some reason. Maybe it's too tight. I don't know how these things work. So anyway, obviously, when I got home last night, I called Canadian Tire, and service was, I don't know if there's any mechanics there or not, but at 8:30 at night, but there was a service advisor there, and so he immediately booked me in for today, so the next day, Thursday, for 9:40 in the morning. But then he said, if you come in at 8 o'clock, we might be able to take a look at it earlier, and you might be get it earlier, because I'm realizing that what happens is, a few cars get in there, they have a few mechanics, and they'll do one job, and then they got to wait for a part or something, and then they can go look at something else. So fine. So I got in there this morning at around 8 o'clock, and I don't know what time it is now. Is it noon hour yet? I don't even know what time it is. And but so much depends on our attitude. So much depends on our attitude. And when I was younger, this type of thing would really, really upset me. It would really upset me. And emotionally, I would have an emotional reaction. I'd have a little bit of a panic, because how much is this going to cost? I would get a resentment. I would get angry at the mechanics or whatever. Say, how come they're incompetent, or they're trying to rip me off? No. I don't. That's not my attitude at all anymore. Not at all. Most people are good people, and these people are not. They're not trying to rip anybody off. I mean, of course, there are people who maybe are dishonest in life, in every field of life, But and everyone's where they're at. No one's perfect, and we're all sinners. But like in general, no one, people have to think a little bit. I used to work in the parking business, and people would always accuse the cashiers of ripping them off. Well, parking downtown is expensive, and they were not ripping them off. I never, ever had an instance where a cashier or a parking lot attendant was ripping off a customer. But what some would do, who were desperate and or dishonest, some cashiers would commit fraud against the company by switching tickets and da 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 da. But as far as The customers, no, they don't want any complaints. They would never rip off a customer, even though they would have that kind of, get that kind of bad reputation. But they would rip off the company. Anyway, I won't go into details because this is video, and my YouTube channel is not about how to steal from companies, right? That's not what I'm about. So anyhow, so my attitude is, and of course last night I was like, no, oh no, I've got things to do. I got things to do. This was not in the plan. This really disrupts my plan. And how long is it going to take? And are they going to be able to see me tomorrow? And I'm looking at the weather, and I'm saying, okay, maybe I'll schedule it for Friday because it looks like it might rain. Yeah, well, the weather forecast, they're always saying it's going to rain and thunderstorm, and it hardly ever does. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get, anyway. So they booked me in today, no problem. And as I'm driving in, there's one of my attitudes, and we can choose our attitudes, but sometimes, like if we're in an emotional state, it's hard to see our options. But an attitude is an option. And I said, like, wow, like, who am I going to meet today? Like, what is the unfinished business? See, the unfinished business, okay, sure, there's getting the truck fixed, but the real unfinished business is, what does God have in store for me, or what good can come out of this? What good can come out of this? And who am I going to meet? And so already today, I'm at the Canadian Tire, and I go sit down in the waiting, and there's a waiting room there, and there's one man there, and he's a little bit older than me, and there's the TV on, and he's got his, obviously you look at the TV, big screen thing, and it's a National Geographic thing or whatever. And anyway, I go down and I make some comment. I can't remember what it was. Maybe I was talking about the weather, or maybe I think I might just said, what do they got on TV, on the news today, or something. And it wasn't even the news. And so he told me they're at the Toronto Zoo. Have you ever been to the Toronto Zoo? Well, for the next, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I'm in conversation with this man who has not lived here in Kingston for very long, but he's got family here. He's got a daughter and a son-in-law, and he started talking about his family, etc. And so we talked about all sorts of things. And the time passed, and in the mystery of it all, it's already a good day. It's already a good day, because I meet a stranger, and I just pray always, Lord, anything that I said that might have come from you or can be beneficial from someone, stir up the Holy Spirit, And it's like yesterday with that assistant manager. How, in all your life, how many conversations have you had, just like down to earth, normal conversations have you had with a priest, with a Catholic priest? And hardly anyone ever has. It's like, statistically, odds are not, eh? So I hope and pray that was a very good conversation for him, that it was edifying. He had some air condition problems with his 2011 Corolla. There was some rattling underneath, and he suspected it was kind of like a cover or something, but his air conditioner wasn't working that great, so they gave him a quote to top up his or to flush out or fix his air conditioning, because the gas in that does leak over time and stuff, and like the time passed for him, and he chatted with the priest. And meanwhile, for me, and I trust that more things will come to mind, but he was reminiscing a lot, right? He was reminiscing a lot, and he he had a lot of life experience that he shared with me. He told me about a private zoo called Kilman, near the Hamilton area. It sounds fascinating. Maybe that's something. One day I'll go to Hamilton. I'll go to this zoo that has a lot of big cats and stuff. You know. But he talked about other things which I wouldn't share here. And Canadian Tire is calling me. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk back to Canadian Tire because I'm not going to answer it. Because what happened was the mechanic. The mechanic. Here's another. Patriots, freedom fighters. Yeah. Hi, I'm waving. She's not saying anything, but this is July the 6th. So Canada Day was just 5 days ago. So it can be that people are flying their flags just because of they love Canada, and why shouldn't they? But usually they're freedom fighters, resistance. Yeah, I mean, so there's other things that this fellow shared and stuff, so I wouldn't, talk about publicly. But the point is, we if we just have the right attitude. And I thought of that old TV show. I mean, it's funny that I find it old because it's so long since I ever watched TV shows. But there's there was a TV show called Touched by an Angel, and I never really watched it, but some people were really kind of hooked on that. And I kind of feel like life is a bit of an adventure like that. Like, who am I going to meet today, and what good might I do? And I'm not, I'm not like Mother Teresa or something. Like, I'm not a wonder worker or anything like that. But like sometimes it's just little things, Sometimes it's just little things. Like I said before, just give God permission to use you as His instrument. And then, and if we realize, everyone we see, God loves, eh? God loves everyone. So that's that. Oh yeah, so anyway, the mechanic called me, about an hour ago. And what it was on the rear right caliper. So this has to do with the disc brakes. On the rear brake caliper, there is the bolts. There's two bolts that kind of hold it in place, and the bottom bolt got loose, and I guess eventually fell out. And so what would happen when those hit the brakes on the forward, it would. I mean, the truck's slowing down, so the momentum force would push that caliper. Would push that. Let me see. It would push that caliper back, and the outside of the caliper, was rubbing against the inside of the wheel rim. Okay? And then I said, well, how come when I go backwards it didn't do it? Well, because when you go backwards, the momentum goes like this, and it's not rubbing against the inside of the wheel rim. So there's scratches on the inside of the wheel rim. It's alloy. It's largely aluminum rim. I don't think it's going to affect anything. And no damage to the caliper, no damage to the rotor. And the only thing is, the bolt has to be ordered from Ford. Looks like I got to cross the street over here. That's not very nice. I think I'm going to walk down and do this a bit different. And maybe I'll jaywalk. I shouldn't plan to jaywalk, should I? Let's see what's going on here. There's a bit of a breeze. I hope it's not affecting the sound quality too much. Anyway, the mechanic, I guess he called himself, and he tried to get an aftermarket bolt, can't get it, and until tomorrow. But he didn't want. He knows I live an hour away, and so he's like, well. So he called Ford, and Ford can get it today, but it won't be till later this afternoon. So I'm in Kingston for another few hours, and so I know what's going on. I went back to Canadian Tire. You know, he sees me outside. He called because they got the doors open because it's such a nice day, and so he calls me over and he shows me exactly what it is. That's why I can explain exactly what it is, because he showed me. Which again, top marks for the Canadian Tire service. You know, because you know a lot of garages or whatever, they think, oh, they'd be like, they don't want to see it back there, or it's a safety issue. Now, in fairness to the Ford dealership, they also, on occasion, have said, oh yeah, come here, we'll just show you. Sometimes it's easier to show, and they know I'm a mature guy, and I actually always have, you know, safety shoes and stuff on anyway. I don't, actually in my truck I actually do have a safety helmet if they needed that. But anyway, so like I say, the service department there, they were calling me on this while I'm doing this live stream, so I'll just walk over there. Maybe we'll keep the live stream going as I go in, but they're just going to explain what it is, and then I asked the mechanic how much for this bolt, and he said no charge. And you know, for all I know, that mechanic is going to take that out of his own pocket, and no, so quite frankly, you know, how is he going to see that this bolt? I'm sure, you know, I highly doubt that he took that caliper off yesterday. I highly doubt. I mean, there's always a chance maybe he took it off, inspected, you know, and you know, didn't put the bolt back in properly. But honestly, I don't think he did that at all. There's a black truck there, but in behind the black truck there's another truck, and they've got the signs of resistance. So freedom. Yeah. And so anyhow, anyway, that's what's happening. And but I said, like, it's just bad timing for them almost, you know, like because like, how was he supposed to know that bolt's gonna get loose, you know? So anyway, to me, I'm gonna assume that it wasn't. I'm gonna get away from the traffic noise and just go this way. I'm just gonna, you know, assume that you know, he never even touched that bolt and it just came off, and how would he know? And even if he did, you know, do a thorough brake inspection, actually took the caliper off, and then, you know, didn't put that one in. He got distracted. Maybe he got distracted by me. Maybe he was putting that bolt in, and I talked to him a number of times yesterday. And but you know, one thing, you know, he didn't do it on purpose, even if it was, you know, human error. And no one, you know, nobody is perfect anyway. And these are, this, you know, car problems, it's you know, you've heard the expression, it's a first world problem. Most people in the world don't even have a car, can't even drive. I mean, there's people around the world, they don't even have shoes. Come on, you know? So Canadian Tire is trying to call me again, so I will speed up a bit. They're probably just, I don't know, maybe they're waiting to, they're not going to order that part until I go, even though they're not going to charge me. But I better get over there anyway. Or maybe Canadian Tire is going to want to charge me, you know, because the mechanic is not Canadian Tire, you know what I mean? They might want to charge me for, I don't know, $20 or something. There was a Canadian Tire, where was it? I think it was in Brockville last summer, and I wanted to adjust the trailer ball. I had that with the trailer, and I needed to adjust. I wanted to use actually a special hitch, and I needed to adjust it, and I didn't have the strength to. I went and bought sockets and everything. I didn't have the strength to take it off, so I went up to the service desk and I asked them, would you be able to do this? And they said, yeah, we'll have to charge you something. I said, yeah, okay. So I think they charged me $20 or something. I thought that was really reasonable. Okay, so I'm just approaching the Canadian Tire here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the camera to me. I'm going to actually kind of have it down, so it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a weird angle for you or anything, but I don't really want to, go through a whole thing. I'm recording you, you're live or anything like that, okay? So, and Canada, by the way, you can record someone else without their permission, but that's a whole other thing. I will, so I'm just going to switch this, and I'm going to take it down. I'm just going to go in and go up to the service desk. So unfortunately, I'm not going to give you any visuals. My truck, yeah, they took my truck down. Oh, you know what it might be? That part might have came in already. Oh, there's my truck right there. Now they may have taken it down just because they're waiting for the part and they need the hoist for another vehicle. Or that bolt might have came in, they replaced it, and that's why the service desk is calling me. So that's that. There's the entrance to the service. I'm going to go in, and we'll just turn her back and go in there again. So sorry about the visuals right now, but we'll just see what's up. Whew. Eh? Yeah. I'm YouTubing now, actually, but I'm not putting your faces on. I'm just. Did the bolt come in already?
Yep.
Well, that's great.
I went for a drive around the block.
Feels good. Yeah, and you noticed that well, you didn't even notice hesitation, but yesterday I realized, yeah, there's no problem. Like that, I don't know if it was the tires or whatnot, but I don't feel that shuddering when I'm stopping anymore.
It probably was with them being so chopped in the front.
Yeah.
It probably was giving you the shudder.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling everyone on my YouTube what a great place this is, and which it is. You guys are doing a great job. And I know it's not easy. No. So okay. Anything else?
Oh, you're good to go.
Okay. Peace. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Eh? Best Canadian Tire I've ever dealt with. No, hands down. They must think I'm mentally ill or something. But so there you go. So I'm finished. No charge. I'm not going to. Where am I here? I'm just going to put this paperwork in there, and I'm going to lock it up. And let's see, where am I going to put this key? I'm just going to put this key right there and make sure I don't bend over a sewer or something and drop it down a sewer. So I'm going to leave the truck there for a bit, and I'm going to go back to that mall, and I'm just going to kind of continue with this live stream because I want to, well, maybe I should start a new live stream just for this slightly different topic, which has to do with an insight that I have, which is kind of, to me, kind of a wonder thing. Now I hear sirens. What's going on? Yeah. God bless them, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. I learned to bless ambulances, fire, police, whatever, by following really an example of or type of example from Father Bob Bedard, God rest his soul. He's the founder of the Companions of the Cross. Some of you may know Father Mark Goring, for example. That's the community that he belongs to. And because I was at Mass at St. Mary's back in the mid 80s, and there was sirens going by, and Father Bob was in the middle of his homily, and he just paused, and he was such a great homilist, such a great preacher, and so go with the flow, but very enthusiastic. And he just kind of paused and said, he just prayed like, Lord, whatever's going on there, whatever's the situation with this emergency, and he said a little prayer for those who may be suffering, those answering the call, and whatever. So, ever since I became a priest, probably since I became a deacon, it changed from just a prayer to an actual blessing. Priestly blessing or a deacon blessing when before I became a priest. And we're going back to that intersection that I just came from, because I want to go into the mall. I don't know why. Because it's cooler, and I might get something to eat. And I don't want to dilly-dally here in Kingston today, but I want to make the most of the trip. So that might involve, meeting some other people, and that might involve, picking something up that I need. That's not on my mind right now, but I'm going to stay in Kingston for a little bit longer. So what do you think? Should I end the stream? Maybe I should end this stream. I'm going to walk over to the mall. We're going to walk over to the mall. I'll keep rambling. I'll check the live chats, see if anything comes from that. Oh, hi. Yeah. Follow me. We got to go this way, that way, and that way. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And actually, even when I was crossing over here, like I just came this way, and when I was crossing over there, I'm live on YouTube, but your face is not on it, by the way. But I was crossing there, and I had a walk signal, and someone turned right, and they didn't see me, but I saw them. So yeah, you got to be careful. When I was driving in today, I'm driving down on the road 38, and a paramedic ambulance just passed me. It wasn't flashing lights, it just passed me, and wouldn't you know, it just passed me. So it's maybe like 5 feet ahead of me on the left, and the car on another lane. It was actually a turn lane. They darted out in front of the paramedic. The paramedic had to swerve, and I had to swerve. So, YouTube. I'm a Catholic priest, and I have a YouTube channel called To Prepare His Way. We can cross now. We have 20 seconds to cross. Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel called To Prepare His Way, and I just today I was in at Canadian Tire, and I just thought I'd go live and just talk to people about things that are on my mind. Yeah.
Okay, so just go straight after.
Then we go straight, and you can either go straight or cross again. I'm gonna cross again, probably.
Because I'm going to the ball.
Me too. Yeah. I'll let you go ahead and stuff, so you're not always on YouTube there. But yeah. My name is Father Anthony.
Dolores Gardner from Moosonee, Ontario.
Moosonee, yeah.
James Bay area.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Are you living in Kingston now, or are you just visiting?
For appointments.
Oh, wow. Well, God bless you. Yeah, you're what do we say? Aboriginal?
Yeah.
Indigenous. Indigenous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm from Ottawa, actually.
Okay.
And a lot of people come in from up north into Ottawa for medical appointments and whatnot.
That's where I go to.
I go to the dentist up here. They're very good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just missed the bus when I went coming back.
Oh,
missed the bus.
the city bus?
Yeah, to come here again.
Oh yeah,
Awful.
yeah. Yesterday I was on the city bus here for the
Yeah.
first time. Yeah.
You know, I'm not shy to go on YouTube, you know?
Eh?
I'm not shy.
Oh, you're not shy. Do you want to go? You want to show your picture?
Okay?
You want to show your face? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I got there.
Okay.
Just a second. So, did you say your name was Dolores?
Yeah.
So this is Dolores, my new friend, and I was just telling everyone because I brought my vehicle into Canadian Tire to get serviced yesterday, and they did a great job. But when I drove home, I realized there was another problem, so I had to come back.
Okay.
So I called this video called Unfinished Business in
Yeah.
Kingston.
Okay.
But my real unfinished business,
Okay, we can watch.
my real unfinished business has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's just I always meet people
Yeah, it's
wherever
nice
I go,
Yeah.
and I just met you,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you make my day because
Yeah.
you want to go on the channel. Did you want to cut across the parking lot?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
So what do you want to say? I'll give you the YouTube channel later, so they make
Okay,
sure.
I want to say hi to everybody. I'm from way up north, James Bay area.
James
Going
Bay.
back home tomorrow, Hudson Bay area. You can look it on the map. It's way up north.
Now, is right now, is it mostly daylight? It's almost
Yeah, it's
all daylight.
Yeah, daylight. It gets dark about 10:30ish because it's summertime.
10:30, and then what time does the sun come up?
At about 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's for the summer hours. But wintertime, it gets dark at 4 in the evening.
Okay.
And it comes in at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
it's not too bad.
That's like you're not way up north.
No, not
then.
way up, not like way up aquatic or anything.
Have you lived all your life up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
I want to go up there sometime.
yeah. Should go.
Did you have to fly down, or how did
I
you?
took a 2-hour flight from Moosonee direct here because that's a medevac. Yeah, so that's what they do. They send you down by medevac.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's covered. And
Yeah, it's covered by NHIB. So if you want to go, like you'd probably have to go by car or
yeah, I
whatever
have
you
to
do.
find my own way.
Yeah.
But what? Because Canada is a beautiful country.
Yeah,
Have you been to other places? Have you been like out west or anything?
not yet.
Not yet.
No.
One of these days,
One of these
Dolores.
days, because I'm working right now for the
Yeah.
hospital. So
Oh,
I
you
have
do?
no time yet to
You work for the which
Winnipeg General
the
Hospital.
hospital up north?
Yeah, up north,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you a nurse or or administration or what are you doing?
I work as a personal support worker.
Personal support worker.
yeah.
Well, thank you. That's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
Everyone has their role to play, right?
Yeah. So I like coming here because it's so nice and cheap, but our limit to go on the plane is
Right.
25 pounds for our bike.
Oh, because everything costs more
Yeah,
up north, right? Because
exactly.
it costs a lot more to bring things up there,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you do your business.
Okay.
So here,
Nice to
just
meet you.
just
What
see
was your
yourself.
name again?
My name is Father Anthony
Okay.
Hannon.
Nice to meet you, Father Anthony.
The name, thank you. The name of the channel.
Yeah.
Are you Catholic by any chance, or?
My family is.
My family is, yeah. Now, I heard your last name. Did you marry, or is that your maiden name?
No, that's
Yeah.
my regular name.
Your regular name?
My father's French.
So, does that, forgive my ignorance,
Uh-huh.
but does that make, like, you or your children Métis? Métis? Or, no,
I'm full native.
you're full
Yeah,
native.
because my mom is a full native, so.
So it goes through the mother's side? Is
Yeah,
that the way it
my
works?
mother's side, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Dolores, the channel, if
Uh-huh.
you want to see yourself,
Yeah.
and I always give people the channel, and then
Yeah.
if you like what you see, you
Yeah.
can let me know.
Okay.
And you can get in touch with me at some point if you want.
Okay.
The channel is called To Prepare His Way.
To prepare his way. Okay.
And now, To Prepare His Way, now as a Catholic priest, most of the viewers are practicing Catholics, but not all.
Okay.
Because, but almost all, like 99%,
Yeah.
are like, we're in support of the truckers convoy and that type
Oh,
of thing.
okay.
So that's who kind of, when you go, you'll see that's kind of the messages that I'm
Okay.
bringing.
Okay.
And
What was it called again?
To Prepare His Way.
To prepare his way. Okay.
And I love the fact that for me, I love the fact that the Aboriginal Canadians,
Yeah.
by and large, resisted, have a mistrust for the government. I think that's good. And I know you work for the hospitals, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to say anything.
Uh-huh.
But you know what?
Yeah.
And in Ottawa, July 1st, 2020, it was the most beautiful thing because they canceled Canada Day, but about 3,000 people, including myself, went down and it was beautiful seeing the unity between the French, the English, and the Indians.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay, I
amazing.
have to get
Bye,
going now
Dolores.
because
God
there's
bless you.
Rachel and I'm
Thank.
gonna do my shopping here.
Yeah, I don't want to. Thank you
Okay,
so
take
much
care.
for saying hi. So wasn't that great, everybody? There you go. And we there's a lot of talk about. Geez, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to find the live chat and see what's going on here. There's a lot of talk about truth and reconciliation, which is, in Canada in general, it's about, the European settlers and the indigenous peoples and this type of thing. But in the Catholic Church, especially, it's a reconciliation with the Catholic Church, and like she had just said, she seemed like when I do ask people if they're Catholic, I know it's sometimes an uncomfortable question because, you know, 90% of baptized Catholics do not practice their faith, right? And I didn't mean to put her off on that. I didn't expect that. I didn't, but she did say her family is Catholic, so she's kind of identifying with that. But I do hope that she comes to the channel and maybe, because maybe that's part of the truth and reconciliation. Maybe she has no, maybe she has no problems with, well, like her dad was French Canadian, right? So, and but with regards to the church, I hope that even some of you who watch the videos, I'm giving you some insight into the mind of at least one priest, and I'm also, letting, hopefully, everyone learns a little bit about the Catholic faith and a little bit about just life, and I'm learning all at the same time. So, okay, so let me just check this. Live chat. I'm going to go to the beginning just so I know what's what. Okay. I can't really get back to the beginning of the video, I don't think, on the live chat. I see someone laughing, so that's good. Bummer, hope it gets fixed. That's the truck. Keep streaming. Hi, Father. Sylvie. Oh, Sylvie. Special prayer request for my daughter in Kingston, all her intentions, blessing to all. Yes, Lord, bless Sylvie's intentions that she mentioned and those unspoken. Yes, Sylvie, I think I know who you are. So, Sylvie, my friend, but correct me if I'm wrong. We've had, at least one really good telephone conversation. Hello, Dolores. Hi, new friend Dolores. That's my godmother name. Beautiful. I missed where you were from. Okay, so she's up from James Bay area. I think she said, did she say Moosonee? So here's my geography being bad here, but yeah, where Dolores is. Yeah, so she's up by James Bay. Hudson Bay. So Hudson Bay and then James Bay. And it's very remote, right? It's very remote. So like she flew in, and if I understand correctly, it was it's like a government sponsored thing, med air, I think she said. So it's medical air. So people up north, they don't have the same infrastructure, and they don't have the same specialties or whatever, and maybe she's coming to the mall to do shopping. And God bless her, that she said, I think she said they only allow 25 pounds. This is so sad, okay? So she's coming down here, maybe she's gonna buy groceries or something. You know what I mean? She's gonna buy, or whatever, maybe, personal hygiene, or maybe clothes, right? So because everything is so much more expensive up north, because it costs a lot to bring things up there, right? So the poorer are poorer, and there is great injustices in Canada, and no greater than the injustices that are truly systemic. We can throw, with the Indians or with I didn't hesitate like later to talk about Canada Day and the Indians coming together because the indigenous people of Canada pride themselves on calling themselves Indians. You know what I mean? So, although at the beginning when I met her, I wasn't sure. Like, you got to want to feel them out a little bit because as soon as I say I'm a Catholic priest, that that although my one-on-one experiences has been really good. I've never really had a well, there was that one crazy lady in Ottawa after the for truckers convoy who was calling herself the Queen of North America or something. I can't remember what her name was, but she figures that she is the Queen Sheba or something, or I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, I think she's maybe has other motives or is being mentally ill or something. But anyway, very good. That's fun. So she's up there. We just chatted, but not by phone. Oh, we didn't, Sylvie? Okay, no problem. We'll figure it out at some point. Live chat. James Bay. Okay. I'm gonna walk into the mall. I don't want to get kicked out of the mall for live streaming or anything like that. I'm gonna go into the mall, show a little bit, and maybe I'll put it back to me. I'll end this stream, and then I want to come back on stream for anyone who wants to join or look at it later. And this has to do with the controversy, and some of you who are not even aware that there's a controversy, the controversy of the luminous mysteries of the Rosary. Because this is Thursday, so those who choose the recommended day, you can meditate on the mysteries anytime, but the recommended day would be Thursdays, and some have replaced the joyful mysteries, and some say no. There's 15 mysteries in the Rosary, and nothing against those other, the subject matter of the luminous mysteries, but it's like this kind of like not quite, kind of your purest Rosary type of idea. But anyway, I have some insights that I think, well, may be helpful to you or anyone who might watch the videos, but for me, it's a truth and reconciliation moment. Okay, so let's go in, and I'll go into the mall here for a second. Switch it around. It's not the same entrance that I exited in. Oh, immediately it's cool. And indigo. I see over there, I didn't show it, maybe you saw it in other parts. Oh, we have a Dollarama downstairs, and Trillium College, which I think is a private college. And then over there's LL Bean. Well, I can probably get there inside the mall. It looks like it is part of the mall. So, anyway, I'm in the mall, it's nice and cool. What should we do? We'll show you the layout of the mall. I'll probably go to the food court later. But what I'm going to do, maybe I'll go towards the food court. Maybe I'll get something and open up the new live stream. So these are the various businesses that are here. This is the name of the place. I don't know. I always say Cataraqui, and people correct me. But what we'll do is I'll just give a blessing, and probably in about 10 minutes, I'm going to get something to drink or something so I can sit down, and then I'll do a live stream just to offer what kind of came to me earlier when I was driving in today. And for me, it's kind of a big aha moment. Day qui say, yup, they day qui. Yup, they day qui. I don't know. Okay, Sylvie is just asking me to say something on the live chat. Okay, the Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Go in peace, live in the truth, live free. And if you want to, look for a new live stream in about 10 minutes from now. I don't know what the time is, so whatever time that is.